everyone, my name is Saksham Dikshit and this is my channel Pentest Diaries. So today I'll make the video on state variable, global variable and local variable. I'll try to club all these three things in one video itself. It might be a longer video, but I'll try to explain you each and everything of the state variable. So I have already prepared the code for it. What are the codes I'm using it? This is state.sol. This is Solidity's extension for it. So, and this is for the local one and this is for the global one. Okay, I'll put this code in my description and even on my blog also. I'll go quickly to the browser and let me go to the state variable. So this is the code. I'll just prepare it for the state variable. I'll explain you each and every section for it, and then I'll few theory portion also so that you are aware about it. Okay, I'll put it that in my blog also. You can read it from there also, but few things I'll read it for you so that you can get the clarity on it, what actually the state variable is. Make it very clear in one shot. So this is the straightforward thing which I have explained you earlier also, and this is the one we have to define the name of the contract that we call it as a state. Okay, now this is the one which we call it as a state variable. So why we call it as a state variable? As at the time of the initiation of the smart contract itself, whatever that variable we are defining it, that we call it as a state variable. Okay, which is coming out of the function, coming out of I can say that coming out of that function constructor, sorry, not contractor, constructor, that we call it as a state variable itself. It's quite expensive, so that's one of the reason behind it. We are defining it once only. So inside of any code, you are defining a state variable once only, not multiple time. Okay, so that is one of the thing. Now if I'll show you that, if I'll try to make value age equal to 12 over here, that's not possible. So initiation is one of the thing, but defining a value to that, that's not possible out of the function itself or out of that constructor. You just have to go inside of the constructor or inside of the function itself just to define the value to that state variable. Okay, so state variable definition or state variable initiation, you can do it over here itself, but defining the value, you just have to go inside of the two things, either a function or a constructor. Okay, so just to let you know, this is the thing I have just already commented that, but if I'll show you that, let me uncomment it and I'll try to show you that why. So if you're trying to use it, if I'll use this as age is equal to 12 and try to compile it, I'm getting the error over here itself. Okay, but if I'm using a constructor over here itself, it will not give me any error, but the problem is that it should get ignored. What it means, I'll let you know. Like, let me compile it. Okay, now I'll go, it's a warning, it's already showing over here itself. Let me, no wait, so this is the thing, you can see that. So when we are using a function with the same, and function is a setter function, we have to use it. So if we are using a setter function over there itself, then in that case constructor is not having any visibility and it should be get ignored. That was a reason. If you are using both the things at the same time, it will give a warning. It will not give any error. This will give as a warning, like why you are consuming a lot of code itself. Like this problem will be sorted out with this code itself, why you're using a constructor over here. So that was actual meaning of it. Okay, so to proceeding further, we simply have to comment this. And now if I'll compile it once again, I'm not getting any error. Let me deploy it. Let me delete this and run it. Once we run it, I can able to show you that what actually I'm getting it. So you can see I'm getting a set age that we as having a function itself, and here we have the value of 10. Okay, so we can able to see the value also over here itself, as we have defined that as a public itself. Okay, when we are calling the value, we can get that value over. Okay, so that's all about the state variable itself. There are few things which I just want to tell you that to change the default value of any state variable, either you have to use a constructor or you have to use any function itself, or that we call it as a setter function. Okay, it's getting permanently stored in a contract storage. So make sure when you're defining any state variable, it's getting stored in a contract storage, not in any other way itself. It's getting, that was the reason it's quite expensive. The cost of the gas is quite expensive in this case, and storage not dynamically allocated. That's a big statement. Like when we are defining and initialize the state variable, then at the time itself whatever the storages get it assigned to it, it's not dynamic, it's static. Okay, that was the reason it's consuming a lot of expensive. It just get it included there. That was the reason we are hardly using few state variable. Whenever there is a requirement for it, we are using a local variable for it. And the last statement is instance of the contract cannot have other state variable. So whatever the state variable which you have defined it initially at the time of the initialization of the contract, that is the only state variable. You can't define a state variable later on. Okay, instead of the code, if you want to get it defined over here, no, that's not possible. You have to define it in the initial phase itself, that we call it as a state variable. Okay, now if we are talking about the other sections for it, which I'll just let you know, like few things. If it's anything to be get it confirmed and find the contract and we are not supposed to pay any extra amount. Okay, I think that is the stuff which I just want to tell you about the state variable itself. And that's clear about the state variable itself. So I'll just repeat once again. For the state variable, you are defining the state variable over here itself. Okay, you can't define any value over there itself. That is one of the thing itself. You have to change the default value either by a stator function or with the constructor itself, and you can't use both the things at the same time. You can use it, but the thing is that if you want both the things, and definitely you get the warning itself, as I have shown you in my video itself. So that's the warning over here itself, and you can't give the value over here itself. That's also one of the problem. Okay, so that's all about the state variable. Now we move to the another section which we call it as a local variable. So this is a local variable. In case of local variable, what exactly is happening? In case of local variable, you can see this is the straightforward thing. I'm just defining a name of the contract as a local. Then this is the thing which I'm defining as a state variable. Okay, now there is one of the case thing which I have not mentioned over here, but I'll tell you that, but I'm not putting it over here itself. At the time of the code itself, when we are making actual code itself, then at the time I'll show you some places what actually I mean by that, but I'll tell you that right away. Okay, this is also a function over here itself. Just ignore this pure right now. I'll have not explained you yet. So in most probably in the next video you will get that detail about the pure itself. So just avoid that. Other than that, there is a return one. And once we are defining, so this is a local variable, we are initiating the variable over here inside of the function, that we call it as a local variable, and then we try to return it back. Okay, then when we return it back, it's captured over here itself. So I'll show you that what exactly is happening with that. Let me delete this. I'll go to the compiler once again. Let me compile it. It's compiled. Okay, let me go to the deployed section, deployed, and you can see. So when I click on the store, you can able to see the value of it. Okay, so as we have defined as a function as a public and get it return the value of it, that was the reason we are able to see the value over here itself. Okay, there is one more thing which I just want to tell you that over here itself. If we want, and like one more thing which I just forget to tell you, that in case of local variable, everything is getting stored on a stack, not on a contract storage. So in case of state variable, everything is getting stored in a contract storage, but in case of local variable, everything is getting stored in the section of stack. So it's quite cheaper and it's not even cost anything to you. It's a random value itself. That was the reason behind it. So that was the reason local variables are preferable instead of going with a state variable, as it's quite expensive. We have to get it defined once and get it forever, we get it defined. Okay, now if I'm proceeding further with that, and I'll tell you that what actually is mean. If I want any state variable to be stored in a stack, so what I'm supposed to do? So I can define this variable over here as a state variable, but I just wanted that to be saved inside of the stack. Then in that case, inside of the function, I'll simply have to use the keyword. After string, I have to use the keyword as memory. And if I'll use that, then in that case, forcefully I'll ask the variable to get it stored in a stack. Even it's a state variable, but still it's getting stored in a stack instead of going with the contract storage. Okay, so that is one of the things I just want to tell you that. Now a few things related to this also I'll want to tell you. Local variables declares inside the function and keep on the stack, not on storage. Don't cost effective, don't cost anything for the gas. There are some type that reference the storage by default. Memory keyword can be used at contract level itself. Okay, so that was the reason behind it. So that's all about the local variable. Now we move to the global variable. Okay, this is the stuff about the global variable. Okay, now we'll talk about the global variable, and these are the special variables which exist in a global workspace and provide information about the blockchain and transaction properties. So it's a specified spatial variables which is already be defined. I'll show you the list of it. These are the, I can say, the global variables which is already be defined. We can use it as per our need itself. Even in my code you can see message.sender, block.timestamp, block.difficulty, tx.gas price. Okay, so everything you can able to see over here itself. Let me run this. I'll explain you each and everything about it. So let me compile it. Okay, once I'll compile it, it's giving me some error over here itself, since the VM replaced by now return random now. Okay, that's okay. This will be deleted. Now let me deploy it. Once I'll deploy it, I can able to see these things as it's defined as a special variable which is called as a global variable. So if I'll click on the first one, my address, so I can able to see the address over here itself. Okay, that is the address. Now if I'll talk about what is the timestamp for it, so I just click on it, I can able to see, I think it's a time. Okay, timestamp I can able to see. Now if I'll talk about the gas cost itself, so it's a gas cost, so you can able to see a gas cost over here itself. And now if you're talking about the message.sender, that is our thing already done. I just have to go for the diff one, which we call it as a block.difficulty, so that we call it as a 0. Okay, these are the things is already explained over here itself. What actually is it, like block.difficulty, current block difficulty. Okay, that's showcasing over there. Other than that, we are using timestamp, current block timestamp as seconds. Okay, it's showing over there itself as we are getting a lot of bigger value over there itself. That was the thing. Other than that, text.gas price of the transaction is getting specified over there itself. And now this is the one sender of the message, current call itself, the address to be get it printed over there itself. Okay, so that's the stuff about it. We just want to get it explained to you about it, like what are the type of state variable, local variable and global variable. I hope everything is clear to you. If you have still having some doubt, just let me know about it. I will try to get it sorted out that thing, and making, if it required more video on the top of the variable itself, I'll definitely try to make it for you. But I think like everything is getting clear to you now with the whole video, with explaining about the state variable, local variable and global variable about it, with the screenshots and everything about it, with the description about it. There is nothing like a big thing, like there are a lot of things which coming under the Solidity. So this is just a starting phase. So if you are worried about the starting one, then definitely it's a longer picture we have it for the Solidity. Okay, so that's all about the stuff we just want to get it covered in this video itself. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel. Thank you so much once again. Take care. Bye bye.